So it's going to be a blue Christmas. Not this sort of blue, a blue, mournful Christmas. Thank you, Chelsea, again, for ruining Christmas. Welcome to the match review of Wolves 2, Chelsea 1. If any game sums up our year, it's this one. If any player sums up this team, it's Raheem Sterling. Ridiculous. You know, this Chelsea team, we didn't play badly. That's the thing. First half, we were all over this Wolves team, dominating. But once we get into the final third, we crumble. And that's the same with Sterling. Sterling had a decent first half. But what happens when it matters, the business end messes up. What a ridiculous chance. Square it. There's two people square. He could have lifted over the goalkeeper. He could round it over the goalkeeper. He's meant to be our most experienced player, but poor decision making, and he's cost us this game. You know, and the reason I say he's cost us this game, we go 1-0 up in this game. Confidence is sky high. Wolves don't come back into this game. Wolves were in the game. Wolves had a lot of players out sick today. This wasn't even their first team. There was no Neto in this team. But we just make it so easy for teams because we don't put teams away. We don't put teams to the sword. We build up their confidence and they score with soft goals. They didn't have to do anything to score their goals. That's the thing. We gifted them a goal from a corner, poor defending from a corner. And then Badiashile comes on and makes another mistake, gives the ball to Matt Doherty, and Doherty puts it away 2-0. Only bright spark is in Nkunku, and I'll talk about that later. So let's get into this match. As I said, dominated in this first half, absolutely dominated, but we got no one to put the ball in the back of the net. Poor quality. Whose decision was it to have these forwards to I've got Broha? We should have sold him. He's not good enough. I know he's coming out of injury. I'll be reaction after this post. He's just not good enough for a team like Chelsea. He's a mid-table player at best, like a West Ham or someone like that. I can't even call them mid-table. I say mid-table team at best, so he's probably at the right team at the moment because we are a mid-table team. So maybe he's at the right club. Maybe he is. But sorry, Nicholas Jackson. I'm not writing off Jackson like a lot of people are writing him off. But this guy is not ready. I wouldn't say he's not good enough. I've seen bits and pieces to tell me that he may come good, but in the future. This guy is not a guy you can depend on to lead your line all season and expect to be competitive in the Premier League. He's only played He's played not even a full season as a striker. He's not a striker at the moment. He doesn't know how to make the runs. How many times do we get the ball into the box and he didn't make those runs? He's not a box presence at all. He doesn't come for the crosses. He just stays and waits for the ball. His touch is poor at times. His confidence is low, but I don't blame the guy. I blame the people, the recruitment team who chose him in the first place. You get this guy in, you use him as an understudy. He's an understudy for a main striker. He comes on, plays bit parts, you put him in some cup games, you let him grow, and then maybe when he blossoms 24, 25, then you've got a player in there. If you look at the guy, Solanke, yesterday's hat-trick for Bournemouth, he's now blossoming at 25 now. He's showing after a few seasons of not being great. He's now showing what a decent striker he can be. You know, he's got a good, I think he's third or fourth in the Premier League scoring charts at the moment. But again, he's a main man at a club like Bournemouth who he can grow and develop with. But at Chelsea, you can't have somebody like a Jackson leading your line. It's not, the pressure at Chelsea is high. You can't have somebody like that who's just young and inexperienced. So I do feel for the guy. I know a lot of people are saying out. I don't want him out. Don't get me wrong. I don't want this guy out, but I just want him to be a bit part player, a sub player, an impact player. You get him off the bench and do something. You don't give him that pressure of leading the line, and that's down to the recruitment, guys. I'm sorry, and as I said, with Modric, with Broha, again, with all the young strikers we've got in the club, I know he's coming back from injury, but those two today, they missed so many chances and they missed controlling, not being clinical enough in front of goal. I had watched 442, a video by 442. I'll try and if I can link it or to put it in the chat or something, where you can see where Chelsea's problems lie, and they were right on the money with their analysis of why we're going wrong. This, we're in the top percentile when it comes to ball progression from the defence and the second third of the football pitch. But once it gets into the final third, we are about 13th or 14th, and that's reflected in the goals. And that's where the business end is. I don't care about us looking pretty and passing the ball around, but what I'm caring about is the output in the final third, and that's where we're lacking time and time again. We don't play that final pass, or not clinical enough in front of goal. And people can say about the manager, this manager, if we haven't got anyone, I don't care who you are. I don't care, even you're Pep Guardiola. If you've got these strikers you've got to work with, you've got no output at all, you're going to struggle. And that's the thing. I sort of compare it to building a house. We've built a house, but we haven't put a roof on top. It's pointless. What's the point in using all these building blocks, getting all this money, spending £1 million on a house, or £1 billion on a house, say, looks pretty, and it does some of the right stuff, but it's not functional. It doesn't do what it's meant to do. And that's, our team is not doing what it's meant to do, and that's winning games, scoring goals. We could be doing all the other things, but if we're not scoring goals, then yeah. And even the foundations of the house isn't great. When there's it looks good when things are okay, when it's a nice sunny day, but when a bit of storm blows and the wind blows a bit, got no foundation. So that's what we found today. We go a goal down, heads drop, mistakes. How many mistakes did we make in this game? It was a ridiculous amount of mistakes in this game, and that's why we're so easy to beat. Teams know that they can sit tight, they can hold us, and then they can go, and there's always a mistake in us. And they're both goals, as I said, poor defending and a mistake by Badiashile, and that's how teams can beat us. Wolves weren't even at their best today. It wasn't like when they played against Man City and other teams where they played on top of their game. They didn't have to be on top of their game to beat us today, and that's the frustrating part about it. Going on to the bright spark now, the only bright spark in the game was Nicholas Nkunku. Nicholas Nkunku shows his class, and he's head and shoulders above this team. When he was walking off, I saw the look on his face. He's thinking, what have I done? What have I done? What mess have I come into in this team? And if we don't carry on, he's going to be leaving us soon if next season we don't buck up our ideas, because he's too good to be in a team like this at the moment. You can see what I loved about him. Sterling, take note. When he's got the ball, he doesn't rush it. A few times he stood, waited for movement before you can see that he's looking for the right pass all the time, and but there's no movement. Once he saw the movement, that's when he passes the ball, and most of the time he passes the ball is good, and his movement in the box is stellar. He's not the tallest of the guys in the box. Nicholas Jackson, 6'3" or 6'4"? How many headers did he get? How many headers did he even get on the end of? None. And this guy who's 5'7", 5'8", great movement in the box to score that headed goal. That's what a proper elite goal scorer is like. Not these guys. It's so frustrating having to watch these incompetent players playing week in, week out. So we're never going to get anything out of games, so we have to rely on this inept, limp forward line that we've got at the moment. Sorry I sound frustrated at the end of the game, but it's just these average attacking players with no brains between them. It's just going to be the death of me. We need more Nkunku type players if we're going to go back onto the top. If we don't get more of these Nkunku types, mentality, skill, intelligence, then we're going to be here all season. We're going to be staying 10th or lower than 10th. We ain't going to go higher than 10th this season. The frustrating thing as well today is that the results yesterday, everything went in our way. With Man United losing, Newcastle losing, so we had a chance to make up ground on some of the teams above us. Okay, we wouldn't have gone above 10th, but we could have got it within touching distance for them for when we played against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are going to come and do the same thing. Sit back, hit us on the break, score a goal, and that's it. This reminds me of the film. I'm going to watch Raiders of the Lost Ark a bit later. When that scene you see with that guy with the knives, he does all this little flashy stuff, and then Harrison Ford just comes, takes the gun and shoots him. That's the way Chelsea play. Lots of fancy stuff all around, but getting nowhere. And then the other team just comes and says, no nonsense, put the ball in the back of the net, game done. Yeah, thank you. So it was a nice early Christmas present for Wolves. Chelsea came in early. Here's your 3 points. Take them, off you go. Enjoy your Christmas. But I feel for the fans. Christmas Eve, they went down there, and another frustrating day in the office for the team. So let me know what your thoughts are in the section below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on all post notifications. You're notified when I make a new video. Bye bye.